What's happening, people? And once again, welcome back to Platform B. This is Cubcan TV, myself, Kovu, in the hot seat, coming out of the pull-up guest mix, which has been very short this week because we have a special guest that I wanted to make a bit of extra room for, allow him the kind of time to have a conversation, because I've been meaning to have a chat with him for a hot minute. And alongside that, he is one of my favourite DJs to watch when he is down in Brighton, so I wanted to give him the full 30 minutes of the end of the show. Man like AT is in the building. How are you doing, sir?
My big homie, Kovu, yeah, let me just say, yeah, Kovu, before I even touched the Brighton scene, I was like, I knew who Kovu was, yeah. So the fact that, do you know what I'm saying, the fact that I get to do this interview now, this is like, yeah, I'm doing something right. So I'm good, basically.
My guy. Thank you for the kind words, man. It's great to get you on the show. Obviously, I've been kind of watching what you've been doing for a hot minute as well. I think the first time we ever actually spoke was at the Teawa show at Green Door Store. I came in, obviously, running around with the camera, super impressed with what you were doing, and I've tried to keep up with the sort of the growth you've been on over the last year. There is something that happened, I think, last weekend that I'm very keen to talk to you about. Obviously, so a mega weekend for yourself. But first of all, 2023 as a whole. Talk me through your year, man, because it looks like things are exploding for you.
First thing that happened in 2023 was probably, well, I came back from Ghana in December. I did my first two kind of international gigs. Played in Ghana twice in December, came back. First 3-4 months of the year were slow, but it gave me time to like really just practice. Do you know what I'm saying? Record my mixes, work on my social medias, that kind of thing. And then I joined an agency called Always Inside Group, which is run by Scotty Inside. So he's one of my best mates. So now my best mate, basically my manager now, which is pretty cool. Joined the group, then bookings started coming back in again. And now we're here. And I've started a residency in Brighton. Club called Coalition, play there every Saturday, and I'm slowly moving into like, the London scene more and more, which I want to do my Brighton sets, of course, my like, patterns, stuff like that. So honestly, I can't complain, man. I think the start of the year, I think having, shout out my missus as well, shout out Nika, because yeah, she's listening, and having her and my mum and Scotty kind of like by my side in the first 3 months of the year when it got a bit slow. You know how it is. I think every industry is kind of like that.
Of course.
Where it kind of slows down and you're like, yo, what is going on? But then you realize you do the same thing every year where you have that moment. And because they were there to like push me, it's like, yo, just keep working at it, practice, send mixes out, send emails, blah, 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 blah. Now I'm at this point where like I've done the stuff I've done the past 2-3 months of stuff that I've not done in the past. I've been DJing for 6 years now, so I've done stuff in 3 months that I've not done in the past like 6 years, which shows that, yeah, man, keeping at it is the way.
100%, man. I mean, and again, watching it from again a fan's perspective at this point, man, I'm watching what you're doing, and there's such a kind of energy about what you do and it feels like as well there's sort of no limits to the sort of stretches you can take things. Obviously, the residency you're playing every on Saturdays at Coalition, I believe that's a bit more sort of hip hop orientated. At least the event's a bit more hip hop orientated. First time I saw you were spinning kind of Afrobeats related stuff. I know a lot of the sort of New Society stuff. You've been in that kind of realm. A few really cool back-to-backs with man like 44, which is always cool to see. And yeah, the main sort of question I want to kind of ask is, how do you, I suppose, find the time to balance different sounds and different genres? Because it's something that people really tend to struggle with, is keeping up that image in different kind of areas.
Well, do you know what, yeah? This was not planned, yeah? But listen, you see me, yeah? I'm a Ghana man, yeah? I'm a real Ghana man. So, like, that, I think a lot of like African, it seems like a lot of the DJs, a lot of African DJs, yeah, based in London, because all I know mainly is the London scene. A lot of us had dads that were DJs, and I've noticed that a lot of our dads were DJs, and I feel like growing up around that, a lot of our dads, so probably if we're early 20s, our dads probably were born in like the kind of late 60s, early 70s. So their era was very much like they were playing like the Earth, Wind and Fires. Then they went into like obviously it's a jump, but going into like Bobby Brown's and then going into kind of the I don't know, like B2K era, you know what I'm saying? And then going into like the T-Pains, but they kind of kept it like just versatile. They weren't just one genre. So I think that taught me from the jump that, yo, if you're gonna do this thing, you got to be good at multiple genres, because I think a lot of DJs kind of coming up through the Afrobeats R&B kind of style. You start on house parties. With house parties, you can't run one genre the whole night. You just can't. Man. There's only certain genres I feel like you can run for the whole, where you can go to a party and play it the whole night. For like drum and bass house parties, probably play for the whole night. That's when someone is going to be like, can you play like, I don't know, garage, slow it down a little bit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, man. And that versatility is such an important thing. And I think there are, even background for myself, I've come up through such a bizarre avenue through sort of 140 originally, then kind of moved around and moved into different areas as you've kind of gone. I suppose that just while I've got you here, I'm really keen to kind of see what was the you said you started 6 years ago. What was the genre of the first mix you put together? Or was it just a mash of different sort of sounds and styles?
It was a throwback R&B mix. It was a throwback R&B mix. Yeah. You know what's funny, yeah? You know what's funny? Like I had I've still got it. I used it here and there, but I had my first controller was a Numark Mixtrack Pro 3, and for my first mix, I didn't know how to record audio through the actual software, so I ended up plugging an aux back into my headphone jack and recording it like that, which meant that there was no bass whatsoever. So I gave it to one of my teachers in college, and she put it in her car. She's like, I'm so excited to listen to this. She said she plugged it in, and there was no bass whatsoever. But that was the first thing I started, the first mix I put together. But I also started I was into a lot of grime, like the grime era, kind of like the Big Zoo kind of era, AJ Tracy era, radio sets, that kind of stuff. That was my vibe. But I met a guy called RYZ, shout out RYZ, and he like I watched him play and I said, yeah, no, Grime's not for me, man. Grime's not for me, because the way he was chopping in that on a CDJ mixer, like he'd have songs that weren't even analyzed and he was just chopping it so clean. And I said, nah, this is not for me. So at that point, I said, okay, cool. Let me get into my UKG, R&B, Afrobeats, house party vibe, and then see where that goes.
And it seems like it's absolutely taking off, man. Like, again, watching you perform live, you've got such a good kind of idea of crowd control, and more than anything else, the idea of knowing where to go next. And that's something, again, that comes so naturally, I suppose, to someone that is used to mixing up styles-wise and doing so many different things. You kind of see the matrix, you know what it is, and you kind of like move it around, and you know that next move. And on that sort of topic of next moves, obviously you've had a really packed year so far, but the last few months especially. What is the sort of next big move for yourself? Like what's in the pipeline?
What is in the pipeline? That's a good question, you know. I feel like for me, I love Brighton, yeah. But and I always tell people, if there was like twice the amount of venues in Brighton that styles like mine were played, then I would live down there. But because I feel like you're only really limited to if we're talking like, I don't know, 120 BPM and below, yeah. We're talking about like patterns, I don't know, like Zahara, maybe like a Shoosh, maybe an Arch here and there, my Coalition set. But there's not many venues that's gonna every week be able to. But London, in one night, like I see my friends, because I'm in a group chat with quite a few DJs, and I see like 10 people who's like, who wants guest list? And it's like, it goes to show that genres like Afrobeats and R&B and dancehall and stuff in London, like it's a lot more opportunity. So I think my aim now is to build more of a name in the London scene, because I feel like I know a lot of DJs out here. I know people who run events and stuff. Now it's a case of putting my name out there. So that's really my aim for this summer, especially with the day parties and stuff like that.
100%. 100%. And I think it's a smart way to go for yourself. Obviously, having that kind of like now back catalogue of work, I suppose, and doing all of these different sounds, styles, events, and just kind of carrying yourself really well. It is really impressive to watch, man. And it's the main reason I wanted to get you on today, to just kind of set the tone for people before we jump into this guest mix, which I'm absolutely buzzing for. Where are we going to be going with this? Like, what's the sort of direction we can expect?
A lot of Afrobeats, Amapiano, a lot of edits. With the edit thing, I've got to shout out Half Thoughts and Changing Currents, because I kind of first started seeing them two play like around the same time, obviously different cities, but I saw both of them play, and I saw them kind of, it was like the Giroud Van Dal kind of era selection and that. And that was kind of my first time seeing that style, and I thought, yeah, this is sick. Bringing edits into it and creating your own style, making your own mashups. So my thing's very much Afrobeats, Amapiano, edits. I've got some of my own edits in there. If you can figure out which ones they are, then do you know what I'm saying? Bonus points. But yeah, that's my style. Yeah, I've just chopping it up, a lot of juggling. Not spending too much time on each song. Yeah, man, just the dancey kind of vibe, man. I enjoyed recording it. So
there we go, man. I'm absolutely buzzing for it. Again, my guy, thank you for coming on the show. It's long overdue, and my apologies for having it such a long wait before we got to set something up. I've been looking forward to this conversation since we got it set up. So yeah, nice one, AT, for jumping on the show. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Big homie, Kovu. Big homie.
Time, man. My guy. Stick around for the next 30 minutes or so, people. We are going to jump into AT's guest mix. We are live on Platform B. This is Cubs Clubhouse. Don't go anywhere.
Sounding so good right now. But they're sounding a Brighton town.
Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel right now, Cub Cam TV. Stay locked.